Hello everyone, in this video we'll be talking about how to beat worlds 3 to 6 in Simulated Universe so you can start grinding 5-star relics in just 3 easy tips. Tip 1 is the specific characters you should bring to each world. There are 2 main characters you should focus on in leveling and using in each world, which is going to be Natasha and Fire Trailblazer. They are amazing supports that prevent your other characters from dying from heavy hitting hits from the bosses that you will face. Natasha is a great healer that can get you up back to full HP, and Fire Trailblazer is a great defensive tank that can not only give a shield but also taunts the enemies in targeting them instead of your other characters for one attack. And they can also take a lot of damage because Natasha scales with HP and healing percentage, and Trailblazer scales with defense. The other characters that you should bring are characters that are going to decrease the enemy's toughness, which is the white bar above the enemies. That is the best way in defeating the bosses. In Simulated Universe, there are going to be a lot of bosses that are going to have a bunch of weaknesses, and also there will be RNG on who you will face up until the main boss, which is fine if bringing the right set of characters, all of which are free characters that you'll have. The characters are Serval, Dan, and Asta. Serval is great at breaking enemies' toughness with lightning weakness with her AoE attacks. Dan is great because he is a consistent damage dealer, and Asta is also great in breaking enemies' toughness with her skill and speed boost from her ultimate. There are other characters that can also work, but mainly you want characters that can deal with the enemy's weakness or who can deal consistent damage. Tip 2. Leveling. For each of the characters that I mentioned, you want to level them up to the max that you can in terms of their main level, traces, and light cones. Generally, a lot of people are only able to level up to level 50 on both their characters and light cones, and level 4 on their traces. For relics, you definitely want ones that are leveled up, but the one thing that you don't want to focus on is the set bonus, because we're not at that point yet. You want to focus on the main stats that you are giving them, mainly the head and feet relics. For example, Fire Trailblazer wants defense percentage for tanking from his head and feet piece, Natasha wants HP percentage and or healing bonus, and Dan, Serval, and Asta can all use attack percentage. Blue rarity relics work just fine, but if you have purple relics, they're better to use. And tip 3, which is the most important one, is the path of blessing that you choose when starting a run. These are buffs called blessings that you get when defeating enemies that help you in clearing the worlds. And when collecting a lot of the blessings from the same path, it gives a path ultimate that you can use when having enough energy. Also, collecting blessings make the path even stronger, so you want to avoid picking blessings from other ones. There's RNG on which blessings you can get, so pick whichever one that are best to you when getting ones of the same path and ones that are not on the same path. There are many different paths, but there are 2 main ones that you want to use, which are Destruction and Abundance. Destruction is great in almost all worlds because it gives damage reduction buffs, and the more you have, the higher the damage you can deal. Destruction's ultimate deals fire damage, which is great for worlds 4 and 6, but again, it's good in all worlds. Abundance is also good because it gives a lot of healing buffs and a whole lot of healing from its ultimate, and can potentially give you a buff for its ultimate where it can remove debuffs on your characters, which is very great against World 5 boss Kafka. I will now tell you which characters to bring and which path to choose for each world alongside Fire Trailblazer and Natasha. For World 3, you want to choose Serval because the majority of the enemies have lightning weakness and she is great in breaking their toughness. The other character you should bring is Dan because he is a consistent damage dealer that you definitely want to have when you face off against Jeopard. And for path, I would choose Destruction. For World 4, you want Serval again because of the lightning weakness, and either Dan or Asta because the majority of the enemies will have fire weakness, but some enemies including the main boss Furrock will have wind weakness. I will go with Dan because you can deal fire damage with Fire Trailblazer, and for path I would choose Destruction. For World 5, you want Dan because a lot of the enemies will have wind weakness, especially the main boss Kafka, but you also want to deal a lot of damage as well because she is going to apply a lot of debuffs on you, so you want to break her as fast as you can. Second character, I will go with Serval because of her AoE attacks and damage over time, and for path I would choose Abundance to heal and to get rid of the debuffs. And for World 6, you want Asta and Serval because a lot of the enemies will have lightning and fire weaknesses, especially the main boss Cocolia. And for path, I will go with Destruction because she is going to deal a lot of damage and you want to reduce that while also dealing a lot of damage yourself. And that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, then subscribe to the channel for more content, leave a like on the video to support it, check out my Twitch for my live streams, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.